Y'all, I am up this morning talking about why you need to stop searching for a Savior. My God, on today, this is an important one. And I am talking about this over video of myself cleaning my kitchen before I prepare to cook. I'm one of those people, I cannot cook in a dirty kitchen, and that includes overflowing trash. That includes, dirty dishes in the sink, and so forth and so on. Now, can I come downstairs and make me a quick piece of toast? Yeah. But like an organized dinner, all throughout chaos, I just can't do it. So, what you're seeing me do at first is um, take out the trash and put a fresh trash bag in the trash can. But let's get to the matter at hand. Stop searching for a savior. And this is, of course, inspired by a banishing that is over on Patreon. You can join Patreon for a very affordable amount and get a hoodoo banishing, a spell, a casting each week earlier than everyone else, as well as opportunities to go on live with me for live rituals and informational talks about conjure, about black American South uh, magic, herbalism, healing, and everything else having to do with that. But that being said, this is also inspired by these recent spate of documentaries about cult leaders. Those have grieved my spirit. I want us to be free of that. So now you see me emptying the dishwasher in preparation to put the dirty dishes in there. Later, you'll also see me taking the glasses off of the ancestor altar and using the water to water the plants in my home, and putting them in the dishwasher because I refresh the ancestor altar weekly. So, searching for a savior. First off, I want to talk about um, the fact that we are the ones we have been waiting for. In the words of the incredible poem by June Jordan, which I will leave a link to under here in the description. This incredible poem, the last stanza of which reads, "And who will join this standing up? And the ones who stood without sweet company will sing and sing back into the mountains, and if necessary, even under the sea. We are the ones we have been waiting for." That comes from June Jordan's poem for South African women. And there's also a fantastic collection of essays, poems, reflections by Alice Walker that uses that line as the title of the book, We Are the Ones We Have Been Waiting For. I've pondered as I watch these documentaries about different cults. For instance, Keep Sweet and Obey, which is about the Mormon LDS people in the southwestern part of the U.S. And the western part of the U.S. about the Nature Boy cult that happened during the pandemic and recently, and still has some adherents, even though the leader has been imprisoned for life. And other cults, especially the Jamestown cult, from which we get the very ubiquitous phrasing, drank the Kool-Aid. Um, you know, I think about a couple of reasons why those happen. One reason is ego, the belief that we have found something that no one else has found. Somehow, our elders, somehow, experts on theology, homiletics, religion, somehow, uh, the global community of spiritualists, of conjurers, of shaman, somehow they missed what we found. And that is a huge piece of ego right there. I often think about the founder of the Mormon religion in the U.S. claiming that Christ came to him in the U.S. And I think about the indigenous people here on this land who were here for 10,000 years, but Christ didn't appear to them. They appeared to this to this man who wanted to date 14-year-old girls. So that's one of the areas that we have to be aware of. We have to be aware of our own ego. And we have to think of ourselves in context of a global community. And that is one of the things that hoodoo, that conjure, sets your mind to thinking about. Because if black people brought over an ancient spirituality and transformed it so that it would serve us here on the North American continent, then it lets you know that this history spans, and it also far lets you know back, that there have been generations upon generations of people who've asked the same questions. So we have to beware of ego. Not that you don't want to think of your intellect as singular, as a different spark that has arrived on this realm, but we have to be honest with ourselves and know that there ain't nothing new under the sun, as they say. So, the ego is a big part of it. And the other part of it is youth and lack of exposure. Youth and lack of exposure. If you notice, the people who are indoctrinated into cult behaviors, into giving all their power over to one singular personality, are usually young people. The same can be said for, addiction, for drug addiction. It's hard to meet somebody who, you know, starts heroin in their 40s. It's going to be hard to meet someone who starts heroin in their 40s, injectable heroin in their 40s. You have to be just young enough and just ego driven enough to believe that it's going to be different for you. There's lots of evidence of how this thing's going to turn out. But for you, it's going to be different. So, youth is a big part of it. And, that historical context is often something that we're also reacting to. So, here's what I mean. As I watched content about the Jamestown massacre, right? So, for those of you who are not familiar, there was a charismatic preacher in the San Francisco area, the Bay Area of California. His name was Jim Jones. Yes, that is where the rapper Jim Jones gets his name from. And he started off as like an anti-racist. He was a white man, but he was an anti-racist. He was coming off the heels of the Bay Area's very signature place in the Black Power movement. That is where the Panthers were founded. Um, this is a place where the U.S. government dumped tons of drugs in order to stop and mollify the Black liberation movement. So there were lots of people seeking solace in spirituality. They found his church, and he was saying all the right things. He was talking about a multiracial coalition. He was feeding the hungry. He was talking about, kind of cleansing and getting away from the hyper consumerism of the U.S. And eventually, he convinced people to come with him to another country, to Guyana, in order to start this New Jerusalem, if you will. And his mental health devolved. It became more and more apparent that he was not well. And he eventually convinced a lot of people to drink poison and commit mass suicide. And the people who tried to leave and not commit mass suicide, he sent members who were deeply indoctrinated to kill them, to shoot them and kill them. So, but that reacting to anti-black racism, to a certain kind of despair and despondency that causes, will put you in a corner to see anything with slight poisons. I mean, Freudian slip or not so much, with slight positives as the solution. So much like a woman on the rebound from a physically abusive relationship goes to a man who maybe only hits her once in a while from a man who hits her every week. That's what many of our fellow Black Americans were doing with the Jim Jones thing. It's like, oh, I'm out here being demeaned and maltreated and underserved. Oh, here is a spiritual system that has some of those elements, but it also has the poison hidden in the rhetoric. So, I mean, these are just a couple of the reasons why people look for a savior. We also have been taught to look for a Superman, right? I love the Marvel Studios movies, and I love the mythologies because I'm a big mythologies and big stories person. Um, I love the stories of heroes. And, I mean, we think about Batman and Superman. The villains that they're fighting could be overcome by a coalition. Why is one rich man cosplaying at night, working out his issues around the death of his parents or the separation from his culture, um, by going out and committing violence on criminals? On, going out and whooping up on criminals. um this idea that we just need one wealthy man or one preternaturally strong man or smart man or man good with gadgets has set us up for a lot of pain and trouble in the society. I think about tech bros now and this worship of, you know, technical or computer skill. I mean, it's one set of talents among many that we need in a cogent and highly functional and kind society. We cannot overprivilege one talent and one man and think that we're going to have balance and think that we're going to have a loving community. So, on a personal level, we've got to stop looking for a savior because we are the ones we have been looking for. We are the ones we have been waiting on. It's us. Um, Looking for a savior is lazy and also a way to operate out of fear of being responsible for your own life, taking the hits for your own life. Look, we all um, like to be right. Whenever we tell the stories of conflicts, we tell the story from the point of view of, and this is how I should be treated mercifully. This is how I should be given grace. This is how this person, they did me so wrong. They talked about me and scandalized my name. But the truth is, in many of our conflicts, maybe even most of our conflicts, we played some part in it. And when you are someone who's looking for a savior, you are sometimes looking to get out of responsibility for the lower performing areas of your life. So we cannot shuttle all personal responsibility. Are systems real? Yes. A lot of poverty is manufactured. Yes. The mass incarceration uh, that is happening here in the U.S. is systemic. Are black people more rule breakers, more violent, shystier? No, no, no. But uh, it is lucrative to imprison people, and it's easier to imprison people when you have them like kettlefish in poorer communities. So, yes, the systems work into this, but once we are accountable adults and we are reasonably healthy and we have at least average intelligence, there are choices we can make to improve our lives and to avoid some of the common pitfalls that happen. And if we give all of that responsibility to the preacher, the imam, the rabbi, the guru, the cult leader, then we are giving up the fundamental part of our life. And we are going to find ourselves at the end of our lives, whether that comes fast or slow, regretting that we didn't make choices, that we didn't take the reins and go where we wanted to go, figuratively or literally. Now, one of the things about conjure, about hoodoo, is that it puts you in the driver's seat. You begin a relationship with your ancestors, and you begin your practice of silence each day. You may call it meditation, you may call it prayer, you may call it communing with your ancestors. But in those moments of silence, your brain will start to receive revelation, receive ideas about who you can collaborate with, go to as an expert, invest in because they know a little bit more than you know. Or that may even be in the form of formal schooling. Whatever it is, you are um, of sound mind, not going to someone and delivering your life to them to do with what they will, but going to someone to get expertise, to build a brain trust, um, to apprentice with the hopes that you will eventually become a journeyman and then an expert from a novice to an expert. Not you're always under their tutelage. This is a permanent hierarchy, and they always get to be right about everything. This is not natural, not for adults. This is if you notice, and with us with adults, we are under the tutelage of parents until we become an accountable adult. So to put yourself in a childlike position for your entire adult life is not natural. That's not preferable. That's not how that thing is supposed to go if you are a healthy adult of reasonable intelligence. So, um, is it okay to look toward experts? Of course. There are people who spend much more time on things than you have, and they have more information there. But that searching for a savior piece is not it, people. It is not it. I want to end by recommending, of course, the novel by Zora Neale Hurston, Their Eyes Were Watching God. Because oftentimes in the US, we operate with a zero sum game. You either do this and your life is going to be perfect, or you do that and your life is going to be perfect. Life is never going to be perfect. Life be lifing, as they say. But I would much rather have the imperfect life that I chose than, the maze, the blinders, the incarcerated life under the leadership of somebody who I can never disagree with. So I'm going to recommend Zora Neale Hurston's Their Eyes Were Watching God because it is about a woman who imperfectly chose herself, who chose her own life, and returns after an extended adventure of a life to her best girlfriend to tell her about it. And we uh, are gripped by the revelatory um, experiences that Janie had in Their Eyes Were Watching God. So I will leave a link to the novel, a link to the poem for South African Women by June Jordan. Oh, and let's have a journal prompt. Let's have a journal prompt. Let's see, a journal prompt about stopping the search for a savior. So here is the journal prompt. Um, how can I save myself? I cannot wait to hear what you all write in response to that. How can I save myself? On that note, your erstwhile conjurer, Dr. Treasure, is signing off. Please hit subscribe, hit like on the video, and share it. And I will see you all next time.